Hey guys, and welcome back to the Frozen Frontier. So, William, it's the next day.
Yeah, so I think I'm up at the crack of dawn. I grab my gamble sim and thrust it over my head. I grab my sword that's all shiny and polished because I've been sat up all night,
Mm-hmm.
sharpening it and cleaning it. And I rush down like a fresh-faced child, unaware of, what he's actually going into to greet Cal Roderick outside of the manor house. I don't know if that's where he's been staying.
Yeah, he's got a place in the manor house. He's got a room.
Yeah, so I wait with him downstairs. I go and get his horse. I've got all of his stuff ready for him as soon as he walks out the front door. Like, I'm very, very eager to
Right. Right. So he has like a nice long breakfast with your parents and starts to slowly get his shit together, comes downstairs to find you ready with his horse and everything. Your mother and father are following him closely behind. The argument from last night appears to still be raging politely. There's no raised voices. It's all very like, well, you see, Roderick, William is a special boy. He really ought to be in his lessons. Don't you think that's the proper way to bring him up? Make sure he can first take care of the arithmetic problems he solves before you delve into swords and spears and all that nonsense. And Roderick kind of calmly and passively pushes by and comes over to you by the horse, kind of ignoring your family almost.
yeah.
Gives you
Seems to understand sort of my way of looking at it.
gives you a nice solid look and goes, well, are you ready?
I am ready. What should I call him, Lord? I'm ready, Lord.
He nods, accepting this term. Tells you to get your horse if you haven't already gotten it.
Yeah, no. The horses are ready. They're just outside. Come. And I'll run out the door and
Right.
try and go to help him get on his horse, even though I'm sure he doesn't need the help. But
Right, but yeah, you're doing the right thing here. And you can kind of overhear some of these servants, maybe the groom that you're helping pull the horses from, saying to one of the other servants something like, why doesn't his family just forbid him from going if they don't want him to go? And one of the other servants is kind of just like shaking the head, being like, I guess he already made the offer and he can't go back on it now? Fuck, I don't know. I wouldn't let my son go off and do this sort of thing.
I ignore them, feeling emboldened by they're underestimating of me. And then I will, I maybe have to help Roderick get his armor on.
That would be a typical squire thing to do, and I think you're probably disappointed to find that he's already got his armor on. Like, he's used to it.
Sure. Well, there will be other days. Once he's on his horse, I jump on my considerably smaller horse, I imagine. Mm-hmm. And so, where's the troll?
So eager, young man. So eager. We're gonna head along the river. The Buford River. We're gonna head north a little bit. There's a cave just off of the river, maybe a few hundred yards or so. That's where our quarry lies. Now, your job when we get there will be to watch the horses. Make sure they don't run away. Make sure some wild animal doesn't come and spook them. If something goes on, you'll need to take care of it. I won't be able to give you instructions on what to do. You'll just have to do it right the first time without making any mistakes. Because if those horses are gone, there are other trolls in this area and goblins, and we don't want to be stuck without any mobility.
I understand, of course. Have you killed trolls before?
He gives you a wry smile but doesn't answer. Your father and mother come over to you, and your mother leans in, gives you a kiss on one cheek while holding your shoulders, not even giving you a full embrace of a hug. Your father doesn't give you any sign of affection, but bids you farewell.
All right, I say to my father, I'll make you proud. And then I turn and kick my horse and,
All right.
get going.
The two of you head off kind of along the northern side of the Buford River until you come across this bridge. and you cut north from there, all the way back against this rising hillside, where there is a nice big cave. And Kel Roderick checks out the place for a little bit before nodding to himself contentedly that yes, this is indeed the place.
This is it. All right, I jump down off the horse and lead both horses to a tree and tie them up. Okay, so I'll just stay here.
He nods. You stay here and make sure nothing goes wrong. And go grab that tinderbox and one of those oil pouches and light that torch. Get it nice and brightly lit. First lesson of the day, trolls and fire. Trolls regenerate very quickly unless burned, so every slash you make must be followed up by a burn to the same area if you don't want it to heal. Or, if you are lucky enough, you can bring one down and then torch the whole thing at once. But every slash followed up with a burn. Remember that, William.
Understood. I'll go and start gathering tinder to start this. Or I get the tinderbox and light the torch for him. And as I hand it back to him, I say, "Just shout if you need my help."
If you hear me shouting, it'll be because I'm dying and a troll is coming out to get you. So get ready to run.
I think there's like a brief moment of realization that, he might not actually win the battle against the troll, but I sort of push that to the back of my mind and say, well, good luck. And I give him a handshake or a warrior's handshake.
Right. He kind of ignores it a little bit, or maybe kind of acknowledges that you're trying to do it, but does not meet you there.
Okay.
Takes his stuff and hoofs it inside the cave, which we are not going to be exploring today, but he heads up this way, if you can see that. Leaving you out here with the two horses.
Yeah, so I try and busy myself with duties, I don't know what they are, gathering some food for the, I feed the horses. I sort of look around, see where things might come from. I try and peer into the cave to see if I can still see the light. But, I guess quickly it becomes a case of just sitting around and waiting.
Sure. I need you to make me a perception check at this point in time.
No. Is my perception better when I was younger?
No, it's the same.
Okay. 18.
Well, little William is, oh my god, clearly distracted.
That's my alarm in the morning.
Oh god, someone left a cell phone here and it's going off and it's not mine.
I hate that noise. It's just when you hear the thing that wakes you up, I guess you don't know, but it sucks.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Okay.
So you're just hanging out, kind of busying yourself with this, that, and the other thing. When you look up from whatever you're doing to find yourself kind of in the middle of this pack of goblins.
Oh shit, maybe the horses are whinnying and getting agitated, right? Yeah.
And you weren't paying attention, you didn't really realize what was happening until now. But there are 4 goblins surrounding you. 3 of them with spears and just flabby loincloths. One of them has a bandana and a wooden shield and a short sword. And they, there's one in that direction, one over here, and one over there. The people on stream who might not be able to see them.
So mechanically, it's better to fight on horseback, right?
You get a bonus to hit on horseback, of +1 for your high ground. The issue is that if you have a non-war horse, it's not trained for battle. So if it gets injured or if it gets spooked, it's gonna bolt and you're probably gonna fall off of it or something like that. It's not good to use a riding horse in battle. They're not trained.
I was thinking of heroically getting on my horse to charge down the goblins, but instead I'll, as confidently as I can muster, trying to push down the fear that's in the back of his mind. I draw my sword and point it to the one with the bandana, and I say, "You'll leave here, beast, if you know what's good for you."
Oh, it's a little human. Little boy, put down your sword.
Why don't you come and take it?
Oh, we will. But maybe for your own sake, you should first put it down so you don't get hurt too much. Come now.
You're the one who'll be getting hurt. Thing. And I sort of like back towards the horses, right? I'm trying to defend the horses, so.
Okay.
You know, spinning around, trying to make sure that none of them are advancing on me.
The goblin makes a gesture, and the ones on the periphery start to encroach a little bit.
Okay. I think as I see them encroaching, I make a snap decision to just charge at the one closest to the cave.
Okay. Why don't you roll for initiative?
Yeah. I'm not gonna let myself get surrounded too easily. 7. I didn't do the actual initiative thing.
Oh, well.
It's alright. There you go. 8. You can change it to 7 then.
Sure, I guess I can roll initiative for the goblins this way too. Oh, God, it doesn't work the way I want it to.
In what way?
I tried to highlight multiple goblins and roll their initiative all at once, but it only added 1 counter, so I actually have to go goblin by goblin. Okay. Well, you're first, Marshal William.
Yeah. So this goblin directly in front of me. I'm not far away enough to charge, am I?
No, you need to be at least 30 feet.
But I will advance with my shield and then take a swing at him.
Roll a hit.
All right. So I don't think I've got any bonuses. I'm not specialized in longsword yet, I suppose.
Right. This is, you're barely proficient.
Yeah, sure. So I think it's just D20. 15.
Which is a mighty blow against the little goblin.
Yeah. Goblin's gonna get popped up. 6 damage.
Oh, yeah. It cuts right into the goblin, and it collapses to the ground with a...
So I, like, killing it and almost, like, not believing my own my own actions. I spin around and put my back to the cave and my sword towards the other 3.
Okay. Let's change up the music.
So I guess I'm like...
Okay. The bandanaed goblin... Actually, I guess that's not the one that's next. This one's gone from the initiative order. This one should have rolled, but didn't. Perfect. All right. So the next goblin comes over, puts himself between you and the horses, and kind of just stands there.
Yeah.
The one with the red bandana moves down towards the horses on the backside and starts to take shit out of their saddles, while the other goblin kind of comes in front as well. Yeah, they're both taking a nice wide stance so they can get you if you try to come to the horses at all. But they stand there, maybe sweating. You can kind of smell the fetid goblin as the sweat pours off of them and seeing their buddy downed. But they have held actions, and it's your turn again.
All right, so not knowing the proper way to... Do I have to roll initiative again, or are we just going to go with this?
Let's just keep it like this.
I mean, I'm sure that they're probably going to ready attack me, but I just go for one, right? I go for this one here, and I'm going to try and cut him down and make a path to the one that's taking stuff from the horses.
Go for it.
Does he attack me as I come in?
Yes, he does. He has a ready to attack, which is a natural 1.
Oh, yeah. All right. He lets his guard down as he misses, and I come in for a 17. 4 damage.
Does not drop the goblin. Wounds him across his arm. He kind of stutters a moment before plunging his spear directly at you with a 19 to hit. What's your AC?
13.
13? That's actually a critical hit against you. What
Shield.
HP?
Shield does +2 or +1?
+1, unless you have a proficiency, yeah. What HP does little William have?
Level 10, I think.
10? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, it would be 11, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Okay. So he criticals William with his spear, doing 8 points of damage. So the spear like catches you in your belly, just on the side of your belly, and cuts deeply, like burying the entire spearhead in you before it rips out with like a chunk of your flesh as well.
Shit. All right, well, things got pretty serious all of a sudden. He thinks about calling for help, but doesn't. And I don't know, like puts his back to this tree to try and cover his flank and takes another attack.
Okay. Hold on, the other goblins have yet to go. So the bandanaed goblin is still pulling stuff out of one of the horses. The other one who is with you circles around to your back and launches at you from there with a snickering laughter. But it's only a natural 7. Even with back attack, that's not good enough. He catches his spear point in your gambeson. And it is Marshall's turn.
All right, I'm trying to think of something smart to do, but I don't think there's much else other to do than just fight, right?
Probably not for rookie Marshall.
Yeah. Like I don't have any. Well, it's a bit late for that, but I don't have like my javelins or anything like that, do I?
No.
Just got my family longsword. All right, and then I try and put my back to the tree so that I'm getting flanked rather than back attacked next round. I'll just take a swing at the one that I've already wounded.
All right.
8.
No go. The one that you've already wounded just holds his position. He seems to be in more of a defensive fighting stance than I'm going to try and run you through. He's already seen one ally fall, and seeing you wounded, he's taking his time. He's being careful so that he doesn't die in this fight too.
Yeah.
It looks like the red bandanaed goblin has gotten everything he needed from the one horse and has now moved over to the other, starting to pull the stuff out. This other one's your horse, who is getting a little spooked by this goblin freaking out here. Tell me about your horse. Is it what sort of horse do you have?
I think it's a relatively, standard riding horse. It's like a pale gold color that you've got there on the. I think its name is. It's got a name. Its name is. What was the name? Its name's Desmond.
Desmond? Oh, nice, great. So the goblin starts picking through Desmond's belongings, and Desmond starts to get a bit skittish.
Does Roderick's horse not try and stomp the goblin?
No, Roderick's horse is trained for warfare. The horse is not bothered by anything around it whatsoever. You could go up and blow something up 6 feet from the horse, and the horse would not even give a shit. He's stable. If Roderick was around and telling him to attack the goblins, he'd beat the shit out of them. But to the horse, this is just, another person, just another creature that it might mount it or might use it. And
yeah, okay.
Yeah. But horses aren't the smartest of creatures. The goblin behind you takes another thrust with his spear, which is, with back attack, is an 11 against your AC 12.
Yeah, so my shield, AC 13.
No shield on back attack, though.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was flank right because I put my back to the tree.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. It's AC 13 then.
All right, so I block it, and seeing that is it my turn now?
Yes, it is.
The one that's taking a defensive stance then, I will sort of try and circle around the tree like this, and then fight this one. So now I've got I don't know, it's not directly able to attack me. It would have to move.
Right.
It's being defensive.
Right.
And I try and attack this one that's just missing.
Well, you are distant. You are moving away from him. That would provoke an attack of opportunity. Maybe young Roderick doesn't quite realize the dangers of doing a maneuver like that in combat.
Okay.
And the goblin lashes out at you with a 4 to hit.
Okay. Lighting all the time. He takes a swipe at this one then. I don't suppose I'm getting a flank attack on it. Right,
No.
19.
Oh, that is definitely a critical hit.
All right, this one's going down. 17.
Oh my god. What? You tell me, man. You tell me.
So I think I just like, circle around, and then as it turns to not be flanked, I just bring my sword down in a really cumbersome blow. Like you wouldn't actually fight like that if you were a trained fighter, but the goblin completely misjudges his defense and puts his spear up to block it. But the sword just like comes straight down through breaking the spear, like cutting the goblin, almost like, gets through all of its head and then like gets stuck on a rib or something at the top of it, just breaks it in half.
The remaining goblin gives kind of a cry in Goblin, which I don't think you speak right now.
Yeah, I don't speak it.
And begins to back up. The bandanaed goblin grabs your horse, literally like mounts your horse, and tries to drive him is not the right word. Ride him is the right word. There we go.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do everything I can to stop it. Right, I'm gonna like flying charge the goblin on top of the horse and try and like stab it all.
Right.
I'm not a trained fighter, but I don't know how would you fight a goblin on a horse? That's an unusual.
Yeah. So the goblin rolls very well to gain control of your horse. It's a bit of a trouble. Your horse is not quite used to the weird smelling goblin. This horse is not nearly as well trained as Roderick's horse. So there's a little struggle getting to take control of it.
Yeah.
And it takes the full round for him to get hold of the horse. Marshall's turn is next.
I will grab the spear of the first goblin I killed and try and like launch it at the.
Give me a roll to hit.
Do I get proficiency bonus? Like negative?
Penalty, you mean?
Yeah, penalty, yeah.
If you want to take a penalty of up to 2, you can.
Well, I mean, I do take proficiency in javelin, so I don't
So
know
maybe you're familiar right now. Let's do a penalty of 1 for like semi-learned javelin.
Yeah.
Ooh. The spear falls not only short, but like hits your horse in the chest. Roll me 2d4 for horse damage.
Oh no. 2.
Oh, thank
God. Alright, he's alright. So I guess I draw my sword and then,
okay.
I will next turn charge.
And as long as we're at it, let's see if your horse passes a morale check for being hit. I think 7's actually a pass. So between the goblin on him and the spear in him, your horse is freaking out, but the goblin manages to maintain control of the horse, so it doesn't just run and bolt. The one with the spear begins to fall back as the goblin on the horse turns the horse around and proceeds to ride off with your horse and a lot of the belongings from Roderick's horse.
Yeah, all right. So I cut free Roderick's horse, unsure of how he'd feel about this, but I jump on his horse and give chase to the goblins.
Okay. I'm going to need you to make me a horseback riding proficiency check for this, hopping on the horse, wheeling it about, and charging after the goblins when you've never experienced combat on horseback and you've never dealt with a horse this big, and the length of the stirrups isn't right for you right now. It's set for Roderick, who's 6 inches taller than you, and it's all a mess. So a horseback riding proficiency check to make it all happen.
Assuming that I pass as well, I'm going to grab the spear that I threw. And,
perfect.
Arm myself with that. 23.
There you go. You get hold of the horse. I'm going to give you control of it as well.
Nice.
All right, you can now control yourself and the horse together.
All right, I will try and trample the goblin that's on foot as I give chase to the other one.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, the other one is riding off, quite happy. The one with the spear has turned and following him on foot. And it's your turn.
Yeah, so I make to charge the one that's running away from me. I assume this horse is faster than my horse. Or maybe not, actually. If it's
I think the other horse is probably a little bit faster. This horse is heavier and bigger and stronger, but the other one's nice and light, so it can pick up speed.
All right, well, yeah, my goal is to attack the goblin that's got all the stuff, but secondary goal is to try and trample the other goblin if I can't make it this round.
Okay. Why don't you give me an overbear attack with your horse?
All right, I don't know how to do that.
So, yeah, let's figure this out. There are rules for everything. I love it. I love subsystems. I guess it's not overbear. It's probably an overrun.
Yeah.
There should be... Why don't we just do an overbear and we'll just call it an overrun? That seems to be fair. So, no, it's not. There's a specific overrun ability for horses.
Yeah, I've definitely read it before.
Here we go. Mounted charge, spear hedge. I know it's in here. Look in the index. Overrun. There we go. Page 22. There it is. So, overruns create attacks of opportunity for the figure being stepped on. After the defender's attack, the defender must roll a successful saving throw versus paralyzation or be knocked down. If he succeeds, he's forced one score right from his location. If he fails, he takes trample attacks. So basically, it's an attack. He gets an attack of opportunity against the horse, except his back is turned and he's running, so he doesn't see it coming. So he gets a save versus paralyzation, which is a fail, of course. Save is modified by -4 for a creature 2 sizes larger. When a defender is knocked down, he may suffer trampling attack. The trampler gets an attack of opportunity that inflicts D4 points per difference in size. Even though the defender is prone, no modifiers apply. Trampling is an afterthought on the attacker's part. The DM can adjust the damage. The prone creature. Alright, these rules actually make overrunning somebody with a horse not that dangerous, which is kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to say you get 4 opportunity attacks against the goblin that you're overrunning. Each one of them will do D4 points of damage to kind of represent the possibility of getting murdered by a horse as it overruns you.
Yeah, so is it D20 plus 1 for the horse? Or?
It'll be D20 plus 3 for the horse. And
So
it'll be 4 of those.
I'll just roll 4 D20.
Yeah. That's
like
2 hits. The 3 hits. Yeah, the 7's are going to be hit too.
Back
So that's
attack, yeah.
3d4.
4 damage.
4 points of damage to a 3 HP goblin, the one that was wounded already.
Nice.
So you just crush him with the horse, trample right over him. You can hear the hooves cracking into goblin bones that snap underneath him. And the other goblin turns around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he hears what's going on. He looks back over his shoulder, sees what's happening, and kind of wheels the horse around this rocky area and brings it back towards you.
So I'm not stopping. Like I will joust this guy with my spear, if that's what he's angling to do.
Yep, I think the two of you end up charging towards each other more or less at the same time. And let's get simultaneous attack rolls. Him with his short sword, you with your spear.
Do I get a bonus for the spear because I'm charging on a horse?
Double damage, but no bonus to attack.
Okay. I still got that -1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The goblin rolls just a flat 9, I guess, which is nothing.
12.
Yeah, the goblin rides past you, slicing at you, hitting your armor, but not hurting you. The 12 he's got leather armor, and he doesn't have leather. He's got half leather armor and a shield. So you crack your spear into his shield, which deflects and does nothing.
Does my spear break?
No. And I think the two of you pass each other.
Okay.
And the goblin is going to turn around.
All right. I throw the spear to the ground and draw my sword.
Okay.
And I don't know. We probably haven't got space for a full charge now.
Nope.
In fact, if there's a bit of a square off here, if he's kind of taking his time, if I get the opportunity to throw the spear at him, I will. Oh, actually, I don't want to hit my horse again.
No, the goblin is coming right back at you. No time wasted.
Okay, so I throw the spear to the ground and then I hold my ground and get ready to ready an attack.
Okay, the goblin, make your attacks. Makes a swipe. This time not at you, but at your horse.
Roderick's horse.
Yeah, Roderick's horse. With a natural 18. We did say Roderick's horse was barded somewhat.
Yeah.
Which should give him 13 AC, which does still make this a crit with the Goblin short sword. Your 12 is once again a miss against his armor. I think short sword does D8 against large creatures, so he crits your horse for 6 and 2 points of damage, but your horse has got a little bit more HP probably.
I hope so.
Yeah, you've got 9. Your horse has 9 HP left on it.
Left.
Yes.
Okay, cool. He's all right then.
And you guys pass each other once more. The goblin turning around with a self-satisfied grin on his face. Now he doesn't have to split the treasure with anybody else.
Yeah.
And he's got a horse, and he's gonna kill another kid.
No, he is not. All right. Me and my wounded horse will come in again. I'm not gonna give up. So I fight him again.
The goblin once again tries to make a pass, swiping at your horse with a 10 to hit, which just clatters off of the armor of your horse.
Well, I get a 16.
Which is a strike on the goblin.
For 4.
Okay. -4 is that. The goblin is lightly wounded by this blow. And comes to more or less a stop near your horse, right? He's not charging past anymore. This time he kind of like slows, takes a slash at your horse's chest, grazes off the barding, and then immediately begins to turn around to like just continue hacking at your horse rather than doing passes. So let's go back to normal initiative order this time.
All right, so I go first.
Let's just roll. Yeah, let's roll initiative.
Oh, I did it wrong, but I got 14.
You got a 14? Okay, yeah. The goblin goes first, takes another hack at Roderick's horse. Oh, God, with a 4 to hit. No dice.
All right, let's kill this goblin. 11? Nope.
Nope, not against his armor. So this fight has gone on for like 10 or 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
And the goblin, after these few last rounds here, tries to maybe pull away a little bit. Not getting really that far away from you, but just enough to give you guys a moment of breathing room. And gives you a look of, I don't want to say respect, but like acknowledgement of a worthy foe. It's that like hard-won, like sort of look.
Well, if I'm going to be a successful knight, I'm going to have to be more than a worthy foe for a goblin, so...
Okay.
I don't give up. I'm not going to let him take horse and all Roderick shit on my first day.
Okay.
So, give chase.
I believe it's your turn.
Yeah. Fuck, 11?
Not happening. Goblin comes back at you with a 7 on Roderick's horse.
Nope. All right, next round, yeah?
Yep.
6.
Nope. All right, Goblin's tired of attacking the horse. The horse isn't going down, so he comes back against you this time with a 9 to hit. Nope. Close, but no cigar.
Oh my god. I roll an 8.
Okay. The goblin makes another swipe at you. This time it's a 16 to hit.
Roll low.
For a single point of damage. It's a grazing blow across your cheek, leaving this nice big kind of dripping of blood along your side.
Okay, I spit the blood out and take another swing.
Okay.
14.
14 is a hit against the goblin.
Come on, roll high. 5 damage.
All right. You swipe across the goblin's leg, kind of cutting deeply to the bone. You can see it shining. The goblin gives a bit of a grimace when a flash of movement comes across your face, and you see a javelin kind of sail across the sky and embed in the goblin's back, who quickly just like falls off the horse and dies on the spot.
Looking to where the javelin came from.
You see Roderick walking out of the cave, slightly limping a little bit. There's a torch on the ground next to him that's kind of like sputtering out. You can see claw rakes across his armor, where the armor's like dented in and scratched badly. You notice there's blood running down his right leg, and he's just kind of like hobbling on it a bit.
So I very quickly jump off his horse, and I grab all the stuff from the goblin and start like frantically trying to put it back in his horse's pack.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've done that, I'll lead the horses over. And Roderick, Lord, are you okay? Did you kill the troll?
He nods slowly, but indicates his injured leg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm near death as well, So, but I try and I don't like seek sympathy or anything like that. I will try to do my squirely duties, but may fall short of energy given the
right. He stops you pretty quickly and goes, "Let's just take a breather here. What happened with these creatures?"
I was watching the horses and they surrounded me. They got the jump on me. I killed 3 of them, and then this one stole your horse. I stole my horse and tried to escape. I was giving chase, but he's tougher than he looks.
He gives a nod. He comes over to this fallen goblin, this last one that you've seen, and pokes it with his sword a little bit. Like pulls the bandana off of it and kicks it over with his good leg. Cocks his head to the side and goes, "Goblin looks a little funny."
Huh?
He points out that goblin and then points to the other one and goes, "Look, his ears, they're softer, they're curved. And while the flesh is still greenish, it's paler than the other goblins."
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've never seen something like this before.
Should we take it back?
Well, first let's just take a moment of rest. He looks around.
Shall I make camp?
At least boil some tea.
All right. Yeah, I start trying to make a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And make some tea or whatever,
Yeah, you see, while you're doing this, you just see Roderick standing over the body of the goblin, and eventually he gets down on his knees and rolls it over and starts really inspecting the funny looking one, the one that had the bandana and shield.
Yeah. So I'm trying to I'm busying myself with my duties, but also very curious about what he's doing, and I'm trying to look around him to see what he's looking at or see what he's doing. But yeah.
Eventually, when the tea is ready, he takes a moment and points out to you all of the little discrepancies with this goblin. It's very clearly different than the others. It's all the other goblins have these kind of longer, pointed ears, almost like elves, except more spear-like points. Yeah. This guy has like rounded ears, and the flesh is a little bit paler colored, and he has like a couple of spots. Like big yellow spots on his legs.
Is he bigger?
No, he's about the same size as the others.
This one spoke common.
And he was riding a horse.
Yeah. Maybe its ears look more human. Half goblin? Is that a thing? Does that exist?
He shakes his head. I don't think so. I've never heard of a half goblin. I can't imagine. God, if humans and goblins can breed, which I've never heard of ever, I can't imagine a half goblin ever surviving to adulthood. It could be another species, or that's not the right term. Another tribe of goblins from somewhere else, maybe moving in.
Some sort of, maybe.
He nods. Yes, you know how people have different hair colors and eye colors and different skin tones and heights and weights. Goblins are the same. They don't all look identical. Our local goblins here look like that, he says, pointing to the 3 others. This...
It's more than just skin tone, though.
It is.
My father, he knows much of etymology and types of creatures and things like that. Perhaps we should bring it back to the village for inspection. I could drag it behind my horse.
You drag it behind the horse, and the whole corpse will be gone before long.
Well, I can carry it with me on the horse. We should go back to town anyway. Both horses are wounded.
He thinks long and hard about this, not really making any sort of decision. Asks for you to go back and clean up the tea set and everything.
Yeah.
Starts having you, dig out the horse's hooves and unpack some of the snacks.
Yeah,
still sitting over this goblin, taking a good hour to think about what to do with this before making a decision.
So I think William feels restless, and I think he doesn't understand why, he's taking so much time, why he's not acting, and he's a bit frustrated, but perhaps realizes the virtue of patience. Maybe, he's read about patience being a knightly virtue, so he starts to try and think it through a bit more, rather than just do the first thing that comes to his head.
Right. Eventually, Roderick decides that you guys aren't taking the body with you. He's going to leave it here. He takes the bandana off the goblin, tucks it in the saddle pack, and tells you that you are not headed for home. You are headed for Saltwick. It's time to make your squireship official, since you have, successfully defended his horse against some goblins and killed goblins, which I think he's going to ask you about on the way to Saltwick.
Yeah. Okay.
So he turns you guys around and you start heading back down the Buford River. When Roderick asks you, is that the first time you've killed a person before?
Yeah, well, I've never killed a person. It's a goblin. But yeah, it's the first time I've killed anything bigger than a chicken.
Don't fall into the mistake of thinking goblins aren't people. They might be cruel, they might be vicious, they might be monstrous little beasts, but they are still people.
Do you have empathy for them?
One should empathize with all people and all creatures. If you don't understand your enemy, how can you hope to defeat them? And we shouldn't be killing every goblin we see for no reason whatsoever.
Are they not enemies of man?
There's more than one way to deal with your enemy. If all you do is fight, then all they will do is fight as well. Are you familiar with the turn of phrase, live by the sword, die by the sword?
I am not.
Well.
But I suppose I see your meaning.
If two families have a problem and family A kills one of the people in family B, family B goes to get revenge and kills one of the people from family A, then family A needs to get revenge and kill one of the people in family B, and back and forth forever it will go. People who are unaccustomed to battle don't realize that violence only begets more violence. It should be the last resort, William, not the first resort.
Diplomacy first.
Many
last.
Many things first, yes. Yes.
I understand. I will think on this lesson, my lord. Will we make camp for the evening, or shall we press on?
I think we better make camp. I wouldn't want to push. What did you name your horse? Desmond?
Desmond, yes. After the Great Knight. The one who killed the dragon.
He nods. I think we had better make camp before we push our horses to their death.
Of course. I will, try and pick a good camp spot off the side of the road. I walk over to on the horse and then look expectantly at Roderick before, jumping down, tying my horse, starting to make a fire. Once the fire's going, I'll, maybe I've still got the goblin spear or something. I say, shall I go hunt? I've killed a few rabbits before.
He shakes his head. No, we're both wounded. No need to take unnecessary risks. That's how people try to become heroes.
Okay.
Lesson number, what is this, 3? Lesson number 3 is in risk management. Just because you can do something heroic doesn't mean you ought to do something heroic. You should save those deeds for when there is no other course of action available to you.
Right. Live to fight another day.
Always. You can't help anyone if you're dead. We have plenty of trail rations. They might not be as delicious as rabbit, but the two of us should stick together now.
Okay. So I will, I make the fire, and then, would you like me to sharpen your blade?
He nods and pulls a whetstone out, tosses it to you, and hands you carefully his sheathed sword. Do you know how to sharpen a blade?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So is this sword like awesome, or is it just a longsword?
It is a steel longsword. Yours is bronze, which is pretty common.
Yeah. All right. So maybe I've never sharpened steel before. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's a little bit harder than bronze.
Yeah. So your steel longsword goes for what, like 1,500 copper? Is that the price of a longsword? 15 gold?
It's probably, is it not 10 times more?
No, for a normal bronze sword, is what I'm saying. Is that the
15 gold? I think so. I mean,
yeah. So you come from a wealthy family, so your concept of money is probably not that great. Like, you know that you guys have money, but the value of it is maybe not truly understood to you. But even you would understand that a steel longsword is a prized possession.
Sure. Yeah. So I take great care and respect over it, and amongst all the other duties I've been doing, this is one that maybe he enjoys a little bit more.
Yeah. And after 5 or 6 minutes, Roderick comes over and, stops you what you're doing, goes, okay, first you want to get here's a little bit of lather for the stone, and, do it in this motion. And he kind of goes through and helps you a little bit with the sharpening of the sword, telling you to go against the grain and to keep the edge exactly like this. And here's how to make sure you maintain the same edge. If you practice, put your thumb here and feel the angle it's at, and then do the same thing over here, and yada yada.
All right, William is very keen to learn as much as he can, so I think he's grateful. Yeah,
he has you make camp. He has you make dinner for the both of you while he sits around patching up his armor and stitching up his wounds. He has you clean out the horses' hooves again. He has you rub them down, take off the saddles. Basically, has you do all of the work.
Yeah, so I think after maybe a few hours of this, William sort of sees another side of what he signed up for, right? Because he might have been berated by his brothers, but he was still living the life of a rich, noble child. He didn't really do any work, and if he did, it was as and when he pleased. This is the first real time that he's been made to do manual labor by someone else and sort of having no choice about it. So I don't know, he's not regretting it, but I guess he's just sort of seeing the other side, that maybe this is going to be harder than he thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's sort of made his mind up now, and he thought he was going to go back home. So as he's sitting there, maybe washing down the horses or whatever, he starts to think about the last time he spoke to his brothers was when they were picking on him that night, and his mother didn't really seem to hug him goodbye properly. And he starts to wonder if when's the next time he'll see his family.
Mm-hmm.
But looks to Roderick and his armor that he's mending, and sort of this is a good person to follow. It's the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I think you guys make it all the way back to Saltwick the next day, but you once again are assigned all the duties of breaking down camp, cleaning up the dishes, making sure the horses are fed and saddled, and Roderick keeps yelling at you to go faster, do it right, stop making that mistake. And I think you're getting a taste for the hard life of a squire, being yelled at for every little detail that you get wrong, even the things that you don't even know how to do that he tells you to do, and then he won't tell you how to do them, and then you do them wrong and he yells at you for them.
Sure.
It's,
all right. Well, I sort of I think back to like my brothers, mocking me for being stupid as Roderick's like shouting at me for doing something wrong for the same thing for the third time. But try and put it to the back of my mind and just get on with it. At least he's trying to help me as well as just being a dick.
Yeah. You eventually arrive in Saltwick, and you find your family impatiently waiting at the gates for you to arrive. They're all there.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I will. I try and like sit up straight and look knightly as I like ride towards them on my horse with my my sword. And as we get to the gate, I'll stop the horse and jump down. And sort of he considers being standoffish, but he runs to his mother to like hug her.
She looks surprised to see you bleeding and wounded and your horse injured, and kind of freaks out a little bit. Roderick acts like nothing's wrong. Your father is maybe a little bit pale, but your brothers are like, what the hell?
Yeah, okay.
They look very impressed, maybe even jealous.
He tries not to let on that he's feeling like smug about that. But sort of, like act like you've been there before, right? He's just going to pretend like it's no big deal.
Right. Your mother is expressing concern over your well-being and starting to tear up a little bit, seeing that you were, seriously actually wounded here or there.
It's fine. It was just a few goblins. I dispatched them quickly.
Yeah.
Why are you all here?
Well, to see you back from your journey, of course.
I thought I might not see you again. Thank you.
Your mom gets a little closer and whispers so Roderick can't hear. It's not too late. You can turn back now. No one will think you the worse for it. You wouldn't be dishonorable. You're young.
I stand up straight and put my hands on her arms and say, I have to do this, Mother. It's my destiny. It's the right thing to do. I've got to learn to become a man. I'm no use to anyone looking at books all day. I'll do something for this family. I'll make a name for myself. You'll see.
Roderick has moved on and calls back for you to join him. And your family goes inside, off to their section where they're going to be staying in Saltwick. You guys head off to Roderick's town villa, or townhouse, I should say, where he has a doctor come and take a look at your wounds. And maybe you've been running on adrenaline for a day or so, but as the doctor, the barber actually comes over and starts, examining your wounds and opening it up, you can feel the huge amount of pain from this goblin spearhead that's still stuck inside of your body that didn't quite come out all the way.
Yeah.
And I think you spend maybe a few days in bed being tended to by the doctor here, while Roderick is off doing some other stuff.
I probably need about 5 days worth of doctor bed rest to heal back up to full,
Right. Okay.
All right.
Do we want to? Is there a third part that we want to do here?
This is what we. I think that's it's a decent place to stop, right?
Yeah.
Do the I don't know if the ceremony's if there's a ceremony or if it's just
there's a slight ceremony for it. It's nothing too official. There's just a little bit of paperwork that gets signed and some words that get said, but I don't have any of that stuff pre-prepared.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think obviously I think the future of this tale is 99% of the time it's going to be mundane work that William's doing. So maybe next time we'll pick up on the next, sort of adventure that he goes on. But I think for now, it's probably been the most exciting week of his life.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He's just excited to see what comes next.
All right. Well then, this will be it for our prequel of Kell William Marshall. And that's that for today's Frozen Frontier.
Do we have a show next week?
We do not. We do not have a show for the next 2 weeks, actually.
All right.
I am going to be moving to Boulder, Colorado, starting on Saturday. So actually, I'm not going to be doing any streaming like Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, all the way through maybe the 25th. So it's actually going to be like 2 dead weeks here on twitch.tv/Koibu. But when we come back, we'll have a full-fledged, proper studio room to be working with and
that's cool.
better stuff.
The next time you see me, hopefully I'll be in my new house.
Oh, lovely. We both have new homes.
Yeah,
Nice.
hopefully, yeah.
All right.
Still waiting on the solicitors to finalize everything, but I'm hoping to move the weekend after next.
All right. Well, we will see you guys in a few more weeks on the 27th for, I think we actually might be doing another flashback. I think Ryan's out of town right then. I don't know. We'll see. August is a busy month. But we'll see you guys in a few weeks with some more Frozen Frontier. Goodbye.
See you guys.